All right, all right. Hey now, hey now. This is going to be another X Goes Solo or X Goes Rogue podcast. Before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to my cuz Big Ren. You can follow him on IG. I think it's at the real Big Ren. Yeah, you want to give my cuz a shout out. I want to give my a shout out to Three Shots of Sobriety podcast, or Three Shots of Honesty. Sorry about that. Three Shots of Honesty. Uh, I want to give a shout out to Raw Sex podcast. Big shout out to them. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a few others, but I'm in traffic, so humor me. So yeah, just doing another X Goes Solo or X Goes Rogue rant, if you will. And this one is going to be a little rough. I know everyone won't agree with it, but hey, it is what it is. I'm more rough around the edges. You know, Jazzy T is more the soft, sweet, PC, politically correct type. I mean, I am legit a like real nice person, you know, but this is talking shit, so I got to be a little rough, you know. But yeah, this subject is why I don't recognize Black History Month, and I don't recognize Black History Month because the last 3 or 4 years, probably longer than that. Actually, yeah, the last 5 years or so, I've just come across a slew of different information, man, and just different knowledgeable things that, as far as so-called Black history, that we just haven't been taught. All right, and what my ancestors have done, you can't box in a fucking month. You just can't box. Every day should be Black History Day, and that's legit. Every day should be Black History Day. Hell, you only give the Latinos, you only give them one damn day, and that's Cinco de Mayo, and they were here and had civilization going for thousands of years, literally. But they don't teach us that because, remember, Columbus discovered America, right? Never mind there was people already here, but somehow he discovered it when people were here. And his name's not even Columbus, but that's either here or there. But anyway, yeah, you can't take what my ancestors have fought and died for and roll that into 1 month. And originally, it wasn't even a full month. It was a Black History Week, and I believe that was started by Carter G. Woodson. I believe so. Started by Carter G. Woodson to expound it to the second week of February, and they've expanded it to a whole month. Now, it's the shortest month out of the year, but I guess just shut up and be happy, right? Just shut up and be happy that we honored you this short month, even though you built this fucking empire off the blood, sweat, and tears. All right, and we promised you 40 acres and a mule, and you never got that. Okay, so yeah, I don't celebrate Black History Month because, again, you can't take what my ancestors have done and box that shit in a month. Second of all, like, I don't know if people look up the term black or not, but like, the term black is kind of derogatory. It means void of light. It means darkness. It means dumb, evil. And these are coming from Webster's sayings. And besides, black is a color in a crayon box. It's not a race of people. I've seen Indians that are darker than me, so would they be black? I've seen what you would call black Chinamen. Would they be black? All right, so my hair is black. My jacket that I'm wearing right now is black, but my skin is brown. No one on the face of the earth is black, so that's a problem within itself. And another reason why I don't recognize Black History Month, because they don't really honor us as the full aspect of Black history, quote unquote Black history. We get spoon-fed Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, and Harriet Tubman did play a huge part in society. Okay, but what about the Nat Turners? What about the Fred Hamptons, Thomas Sankara? Okay, yet Carter G. Woodson. All right, why don't we hear more about Marcus Garvey? I can't remember the first elected judge. I can't remember that. I can't remember. Or how about John Henson Moore? The actual first Black president of the United States. Not the United States, all caps corporation, but the United States when it was actually a sovereign country and not owned by the British, which is still owned by the British. Let's be honest. We had the British-American War, independence, to get freed from British rule and taxation, only to be ruled by taxation. But again, that's neither here or there. And last year, a lot of people probably didn't pay attention, but every day during quote unquote Black History Month, there was almost every day or every other day there was a damn blackface scandal. We've seen all these runway models wearing blackface clothing that went over a lot of people's head, but some people started to call it out. We've seen the whole H&M thing with the little black boy wearing the coolest monkey in the jungle shirt. All right, we seen a runway model that had a picture of a black woman on a sweater with the iron sleeve over her mouth so that they couldn't eat the corn when the quote unquote black slaves were in the cornfield picking the corn. And everyone probably would have thought that was just a design if someone didn't show the picture and link it together. And this is supposed to be Black History Month? You gotta be kidding me. They don't teach us about Nat Turner. Okay? And not only that, there were many other slave revolts. All that teaches is that we were slaves. We had some good slaves, some bad slaves. The bad slaves got whipped, and yeah, we might have done some terrible shit to you, but that was it. And Abraham Lincoln came and freed the slaves. They don't tell you about the slave revolts, all right? Many different slave revolts where the slavers were putting their masters to death. All right? They don't teach you that history. And it's not by accident, it's on purpose. Okay, all they tell you is before 16 such and such, you came over here and you were slaves. Well, what the fuck were we doing before the 1600s? What were we doing before you came to the western shores of Africa? What were quote unquote black people doing before then? Because that's Black history as well, okay? They don't tell you that Beethoven was not Beethoven, Shakespeare was a so-called black man. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. Excuse me, my earplug's falling out. They don't tell you that Mozart was a so-called black man. They don't tell you that the Stuart dynasty under King James and his heirs were people of color, were so-called black men. King James's son was nicknamed Black Boy. Why was he nicknamed Black Boy? Because he was black. They don't tell you that so-called black men or men of color ran Europe for 1,100 years. They don't teach you that. They don't tell you that. Hell, they don't tell you that Europe comes from Queen Europia, which is a so-called black woman. That's where the term Europe comes from. All right, they don't teach you about black nobility. Anyone that's listening to this podcast that actually cares about real life shit, Google or YouTube or whatever, type in black nobility and look at all of the black royalty that they lied to us about. It's called iconoclasm. And iconoclasm is the destruction or whitewashing over ancient images. So what they like to have you believe that your history only goes as far as ancient Egypt or Africa, which is bullshit, man. Yes, we do have a lot of history in Egypt or whatever. But yeah, we understand, we get that. But what about Greece? What about Rome? What about Asia? Again, the so-called black man ran that region for approximately 1,100 years. So those huge castles and huge towers and huge churches and synagogues and all this other shit, our people built those. But they don't teach you that, because that's real black history. And we can't teach them real black history. We can't let them know how great they were. We can't do it. Why can't we let them know how great they are? Because we don't want them rising up. We don't want them rising up. We don't want them finding or identifying that they actually had a real culture. We need to keep them with this culture. We need to keep them eating the bad food. We need to keep them watching the fucking Desperate Housewives. We need to keep them with a minimal education system. We need to keep them warring and hating with each other. We need to keep them away from their real history. We can't have it. So I don't celebrate black history or recognize black history, again, because black history should be every fucking day. All right. We're just now finding out about the Tulsa City, Oklahoma bombings. I mean, well, I knew about it, 3 or 4 years ago, but it's being brought to the forefront, on a large scale. And a lot of that has come from the new TV show on HBO called The Watchmen, which is a bomb show. But you can't box our history in, man. You can't box our real history in. All right, they don't teach you about the inventor of the Nintendo, of the laptop, of the 3D glasses, of the remote control, of the potato chip, of the tricycle, the stoplight, the car. Because Henry Ford didn't create the car. All right, we didn't have any rights or any freedoms back then, man. So we would create all these different things, and the slaver or the slave master would take the patent from it. We didn't have patents back then, and he'd get the credit for it. If you want to know real black history, type in black inventors and watch what pops up, man. There's a different type of spirit, or not a spirit, I'll say vibration, that's in America, man, and it's making a lot of people, not all, because some people are still fucking sleepwalking, it's making a lot of people do research and understand their greatness and their value as quote unquote black people, man, and see how fucking great and how much of a dominant people that we are. And this is not being racist or anything and all this other shit, because here's the point. If it was so of an importance to the so-called white man, why would he bother hiding all this information? If we wanted to be all created equal and all treated equal, why would they bother to hide this information and box what we've done, all accomplishments in our history, in 1 month? So I don't want to make this too long. I'm actually at my destination, and that's it, man. So this is why I don't recognize Black History Month, because I represent for my people every damn day. X Solo out.